Hello friends, welcome to our session on web applications using Spring MVC. The agenda for today's session is an application to show the implementation of Spring MVC in web applications using Java. So let's begin with an example to show the implementation of Spring MVC in web applications using Java. So to begin with, open the Eclipse IDE for Java EE applications. Then on the File menu, click on the New option and click on Java Maven Projects. On the Maven Projects, click on name the program as a Simple Spring MVC. The Simple Spring MVC is a simple Java program, and then click on Next option, and in the option select Web Applications, and then click Next, and then click Finish. Then select the web app from there. In the archetype, select the web app and then click Finish app option. Next, we create an structure of the application as Simple Spring MVC, and the Simple Spring MVC that we create over here is a simple structure which contains the application for Java application, the structure for the Java application. So here in the simple structure, you can see that inside the Simple Spring MVC we have the SRC folder. Inside the SRC we have the main folder. There actually initially we don't have the Java folder. You have to create a new folder named Java over there. When a folder of Java is created over here, then inside the src/main/java package, we will get a Java package over this src/main/java package inside the Java resources. Now inside the Java resources, inside the src/main/java package, create a new package called org.techmindz.simplespringmvc.config. Also create another package called org.techmindz.simplespringmvc.controller. Now after creating these two packages, before coming to the classes and other classes that we have to create, let us first go to the pom.xml file, because since this is a Maven project, everything is in the form of Maven repositories. That is, the jar files required for the application is provided in the form of Maven repositories. So inside the pom.xml file, we know initially that these are all provided. That is the name of the program project, and then the properties and the Maven source, the UTF-8 and the target source, JDK, everything is provided first. Then secondly, the JUnit is also provided. Now inside the dependencies, we have the JUnit dependency. The rest of the dependencies we have to add it. That is, if it is a servlet API, since this is a web application, so the minimum requirements is the repositories. So we'll get all these repositories inside the mvnrepository.com site. From there we can go and access these repositories. So we have to retrieve the javax.servlet API. Then you have to get the dependency. You can copy it from there and paste it over here. Next we have to add the Spring Core repository. Then we have to add the Spring Web repository, and then the Spring Web MVC repository. So you can get it from the MVN repositories, and these are all the dependencies you have to add to the pom.xml file for the minimum web application. Now next we have to create a Java class file, and the first Java class file that we are going to create is, since we are using the configuration type, that is the annotation and configuration kind, so here we will be using the application context config class, which has to be created first, which has to be created inside the config package. So public class application context config, inside this we have to create @configuration, @component scan. In the component scan, we have to write org.techminds.simple springmvc.asterisk, and inside the bean in application context, this is, you have to annotate it as configuration, because we have to know that this is a configurational file. Next we have to write @component scan file. This is because you have to know through which package we have to configure. So you write the name of the package through which you have to configure, and here we have to configure through the Spring MVC package, org.techminds.springmvc.asterisk. that is all the files inside the simple Spring MVC package will be scanned. Next, inside the application context config, we have to write a method which is the bean file, and it is the view resolver. So public internal resource view resolver get view resolver, that is the name of the function which has been given the bean name view resolver. This is because we have to find the view. We'll find the view component in this position. So the view resolver is an object of the new internal resource view resolver, and next we come to using the view resolver object dot set prefix, that is where you find the prefix, the path of to the view page. Next, it is /webinf/jsp. This is the position where we find the view file, and what type of view file, that is view resolver.set suffix, that is it should be of the JSP type. So, and we return the view resolver from this method. So this is what is the first simple program, and for a simple and configuration or component scan, we just need to have the view resolver, because we are going to speak about a simple program of displaying a simple page. Next we come to the next part, which is the Spring application initializer. Actually, when the application runs, this is the first page which we have to initialize, which implements the web application initializer. Now @override public void on startup servlet context throws a servlet exception, annotation config web application context app context is equal to new annotation config web application context. Now app context.register application context config.class servlet registration.dynamic dispatcher is equal to servlet context.add servlet spring dispatcher comma new dispatcher servlet app context dispatcher.set load on startup 1 dispatcher.add mapping / dispatcher.set init parameter context class comma app context.get class.get name. Here we are passing the data towards the dispatcher servlet, which says that the dispatcher servlet has to start on load, and it has to start up on load, and then the dispatcher servlet, it will call the app. It is mapped to the app context, that is which is the name of the, which has been assigned to the application context config file which we had written earlier, the earlier class file, and then that is the dispatcher will by default move to the application context config, from which it will be mapped to the view resolver, and then we are adding the dispatcher's context class. We are adding the app context as the class of the init parameter, that is the dispatcher will initialize the app context class. Then it will go to the servlet context add listener, and there also the listener also adds to the app context, and then we define the filter registration and encoding, and all such things are being provided to it in this particular file. Next we come to the web configuration file. This again, it's a configuration file, so it is mapped as @configuration, and it enables web MVC, that is MVC app is enabled in a web application due to this annotation, and then configurations as web MVC configuration is provided over here. Over here, we to the registry we provide the CSS memory space for the CSS files, images, and JS files, JavaScripts and all. So the required cache period and cache space is provided over here, and then a configurer is provided, and the configurer is enabled over here. So this is what has been, these are the configurations provided to the web applications inside the config part. we can either write the config as a class file, or you can do it in the web.xml along with the Spring XML files. That is also another method. Now we'll come to the org.techmindz.simple-spring-mvc.controller package. Inside the controller, we have to write the controller class. The controller class is a main class because it provides the, it is the controller class which maintains the flow of the application. So here from the JSP page, when you click on, when the request mapping of /simple comes here, so first of all the dispatcher works, and the dispatcher runs the program, and then the request mapping, and it gets a simple, it comes to the controller, since the request mapping over here to the controller. So at the rate controller request mapping is first made for that to for the class to come to know, the compiler to come to know that this simple controller is a controller. Then the public string hello model is on top of that function we give at the rate request mapping /simple to know that this particular class is method is mapped to a particular function, that is to this link. Now model.add attribute greeting comma welcome to simple Spring MVC program. Here the greeting is being assigned to a simple Spring MVC program, and then return simple world. So the simple world will be returned to it. So these are the this is the model attribute I told you earlier. Model over here is the object of the Spring framework .ui package, and here inside that we have a model class, its object is small model, and then model.add attribute will give a key value pair where greeting is the key and value is welcome to Spring MVC program, and you return simple world. So along with simple world is something, the name of the JSP page, and its suffix and prefix is provided in the application context config class, and so it will move to the automatically when we say /simple, it will return to the view page. The view page is returned. The model .add attribute will give the values, so it will also move along with the response, and it will go to the simple world. Now when you come to the JSP page, you can see the JSP page here. On inside the body I have just written $greeting, that is the UEL representation of the key, and you get the value. When you say, you can see Spring MVC /simple. When it's a slash, it will simply go to the index.jsp. When I type a /simple, it will go to the view resolver, will take it to the JSP page, web-inf/JSP, inside which the simple world is the model return, whether we return, so that is been taken, and then .jsp is the suffix, so that will be provided, and it will take the simple world.jsp file will be displayed, and there, since we have given $greeting is the key, so its value will be displayed since it is represented in the EL representation. So that will be displayed over here, and this is how the simple Spring MVC application or the model view controller is working over here, and this is the flow of the data. The flow of the data is specifically shown over here. That is, first of all, the configurations will work, then the controller will show the lead to the path to which JSP page it has to move to, and in Spring application JSP pages or the view pages are written inside the web-inf folder, which usually is not the right position for JSP, but then that path has to be maintained or shown over there. So this is what is the flow and the example representation. And if you think the session has been understandable, please like, share and subscribe, and thanks for attending our session on web applications using Spring MVC.